Good Thursday afternoon. We're back here. You're back here with TB's cabin. It's raining outside today, so we can't work the forge. I was going to make a guard for my machete here that I made off the blacksmith forge. I put a cutting edge on this all the way from right about here all the way down. This part's a little sharper up here because I left this for a little more thicker for chopping, but it's pretty sharp. It can cut the thunder out of you. Then the point is good, and the top part of that old lawnmower blade, I sharpened it up. So if you wanted to cut something, you know, this way coming up, but you got to be careful because that could cut you too. Keep in mind when you're making a weapon of such a device like this. Now I didn't shape this handle or cut it to a drawed out measure or anything. I ground it down this way. I was just going to leave it kind of round here, but I decided I'm going to put me a hand guard right here just in case you needed to use it for a weapon. You never know, as the way times are coming along in the future here, what's going to happen. You might have to have this thing for just more than just a tool to protect yourself, because folks, guns run out of bullets. Keep that in mind. You know, I'm a big fan of primitive weapons myself. I like the modern weapons too, and I use them. Yes, I do. I carry a nice 357, as a matter of fact, with me wherever I go. I don't give a crap what the law thinks of that. I do what I think's right. I don't go out to harm folks, and I've got a code that I live by. I don't put my hand up on another, and I expect the same respect from them, or they'll learn the better of it. But there is things that in this life that you can't control. I try to steer away from trouble because it comes to me like a magnet anyway, seems like, at times. But what I'm saying is this right here can be used as a short sword. In fact, it's heavy enough that it would make a short sword. It's not a great sword, no. I prefer to call it a machete because I'm going to be using it as a tool more so than a weapon. But I'm saying it can be used for either one for dual purpose survival in the bush or whatever. This is nothing more than a carbon steel lawnmower blade. I took it off of an old lawnmower and I heated it, straightened it, and flattened it, and I sharpened it. It's all I've done, and I cut out a handle in it. I left the metal handle. Now, what I'm going to do here today is take a piece of oak. I'm going to try this. I haven't made handles before, not like this, not splitting it down out of a piece of wood that I was going to burn in the stove, as a matter of fact. But I've got this piece of oak right here, and I'm going to split it down and see if I can. I've got it almost down, but I'm going to make a couple of nice handles out of it, out of raw material here. And I've made axe handles and other stuff out of wood, but never a machete handle or a knife. Knife handles I've made, but not a machete handle like this, or even a sword handle. I've never even made a sword. I don't know diddle nothing about that. So we see we cut it off right here, and we got plenty of material here to cut around and work around to make one side, and then we got some more material to make another handle, to make the handle. And I may countersink this handle into the wood. I wish I had a router, but I don't. I'll probably have to use a chisel and work it out to where that sets down inside the wood, and I got to leave enough room for my hand guard that I'm building. I cut it out of a piece of angle iron, my hand guard. It's carbon steel too, but it's made out of a piece of channel iron in an L shape, and I've got to heat it and flatten that piece so that it'll come up here. Oh, it'll be about probably an inch and a half on each side of kind of a hand guard to keep you from getting your hand cut and protect you from other debris coming at you, or if you ever get into it in the heat of battle with the swords, you know, you might have to have something like that to keep the sword from coming down and cutting the crap out of your hand whenever you're at it. But this would be considered kind of like the short sword over in maybe early times Rome. You know, over there they had short swords similar to this, but it was made different from this one. From this, I just come up with this pattern off the machete on this round point here, but it came out more of a point than I had intended to start with. But it chops and it cuts brush good, and that's all I really wanted for it. But I'm just saying that this could work also as a weapon as well, as a sidearm. You know, if you had to have that. You use what you got at hand whenever someone's trying to harm you. That's what I got to say about that. You have to use what you got. Okay, well, I'm going to split out the handle here today, and I'll be back with you shortly, and I'll finish demonstrating how this all will work. I know my kitchen is a mess because I do all this work in here when it's raining, but I like to get some of the things done that I can do indoors as I work on my ebook too when it's raining, doing inside stuff when it rains, and whenever it's not raining I try to work on the forge. And yeah, I'm going to try to make my first sword probably in a couple of weeks. I'm going to buy some '01 steel and I'm going to give it a try. I would like to see how to make a really good sword. I'm going to be studying up on it and reading about it. I've never made a sword. I have never made swords. Swords is something that the masters know how to do, and if you watch them, I may learn a few things from them to make a pretty good sword. You know, if I can make knives, I know I can make swords. Swords is not much difference. See, with Japan though, with those guys, they roll their steel out and they heat and beat it out from a little square. I've seen them work it out and just keep heating it and putting more steel with it, and it makes the steel, oh shoot, 10 times as strong as anything we got probably. When they make a good katana sword, those katanas are, in my book, are probably the best in the world. Now there are other swords that are good that is made here in America too. I'm not saying they're not good. They are. But after seeing what the katana could do against the European swords, the katana will cut through metal armor, folks. It'll stick right through it deeper. They've done tests on this stuff that I've watched on TV. Something called Top Guns or something like that it's on. And you can go up there and watch that stuff and just see which swords are the best. And after watching, I got to say that the Japan country over in there, those people made some excellent swords, quality swords. And you don't get one of them by buying it over there. They made you earn it when you was a samurai warrior. You had to earn it. You had to learn how to use the sword before you even got one. They started them out with something that looked like a pole. It's a wooden pole until you learned how to use it. Use that, then they advanced you to the samurai sword once you was able to master the skills of using the doggone thing. Well, anyway, that was their way of doing things for those people over there. They have a different way of doing things than we do, you know. But a katana, a good one, can cost you anywhere from $600 all the way up to several $1,000s. I think it's like $5,000 or $6,000 for a good katana sword. Some places, depending on which master makes it. So that's why I'm saying, but we don't have to have those kind of expensive tools, folks, to have a decent sword. You can learn from them and make your own. Just like I did with this machete. Now I've got another machete, it's up at the house, a little different style from this, that I took and made this bend out of. On this part, for the roundness of it, is what I had designed for chopping, really. But this would make a sticker as well as a chopper. It's got a point here, the way it came out, because that's where that lawnmower blade ended. And it does have 3 holes in the middle, but that won't weaken it none. It won't break there. I doubt it would take a lot to break that. You'd probably break your wrist before you'd break that. That's pretty heavy steel, folks.